What is up, my buttery biscuits? In today's video, we're going to be talking about Trisha Paytas and Bunnie XO, who, by the way, y'all, I literally just learned who she was, and I have to say that I'm a fan of hers. Like, I really like her. Like, listening to her on podcasts, I feel like she just sounds so, like, I don't know, relatable, down to earth, like, humble. Do you know what I mean? And she's, like, on the rise to, like, stardom. And on top of that, too, her husband, Jelly Roll, is, like, really, really blowing up in the music industry, too. And I feel like, I don't know, she just kind of, like, remains the same. And I have to say, I really, really like her. Anyways, we're going to be talking about her and Trisha Paytas because Trisha Paytas did flake on her right before they were supposed to film a podcast. I want to get your guys' opinion about this though too, because Trisha Paytas, like, long story short, really fast, Trisha Paytas got a better opportunity and she took that opportunity, but she had already made prior engagements with Bunnie XO. What would you guys do in this situation? Say, for example, if you guys were just filming a podcast with somebody, you know, online, like your mutual, let's just say, and then you got the opportunity to film a podcast with somebody you idolize. What would you guys do in that instance? Because I'm like, oh my God, I feel really bad, but at the same time too, if that opportunity came and that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity, I'm like, I'm gonna take it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that kind of sucks, but anyway, so we're gonna be talking about that within today's video because I feel like look, y'all, before we get into the details, I feel like Trisha Paytas can obviously blow things up. I don't really feel like things were too deep. Obviously, we'll talk about the details. I will play some clips within today's video. Trisha Paytas went on a over 8-minute long rant on TikTok. I will be playing a part of that too. If you guys do want to check out the whole entire TikTok, she does have it on her TikTok. I'm not going to be playing the whole thing because it's just way too long, and we're going to be talking about that within today's video. Also, by the way, y'all, if you guys have not heard of Bunnie XO, if you guys have not listened to her podcast, I highly recommend listening. I feel like she's just, I don't know, she's really cool. I really like her. It's called the Dumb Blonde Podcast, and they have it on all streaming platforms. Look at me promoting for her. Also, y'all, Trisha Paytas' podcast is doing really good too, called Just Trish. She's getting a lot of views. I feel like this was low-key kind of like a shocker, because if I'm just keeping it real, like, I feel like the videos on her main channel to where she has more subscribers don't really get that many views. It got me over here thinking like, oh my God, should I start a separate channel and like start a podcast? I don't really know. I told you guys before, honestly, I really want to come out with a podcast, but then I'm like self-conscious because I talk so damn fast. You guys know that a lot of times people will be like, slow it down. But I just feel like after watching Trisha Paytas, I'm like, correct me if I'm wrong. You guys can call me out. I don't give a shit. But I feel that Trisha Paytas talks faster than I do. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just delusional. I don't really know. But when I listen to her talk, I'm like, okay, yeah, I talk fast. Like, I edit my videos. You know what I mean? So I know how fast I talk. But I listen to hers and I'm like, well, she talks faster than me. And a lot of people watch her podcast. So maybe some people watch mine. I don't know. Anyways, I don't even have anybody that I can like co-host it with. Everybody's like too scared to get canceled. And I'm like, y'all, if I had a podcast, we're going to talk about everything like completely unfiltered. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, I'm rambling, y'all. Literally, podcast, that's what it'll be called, the ramble. Anyways, let me shut up. And no, I did not have an energy drink today. Okay, it was coffee only. So we're going to be talking about that. Make sure you guys click the link down below. Head over to my second travel channel. That's my second travel channel. My second channel. That's my travel channel with my brother. Go show some love over there. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up. Let's go ahead and get into it. Just in case you guys don't know who Bunnie XO, I'm going to give you guys just a little bit of a rundown from People Magazine, y'all. I do want to say, because, okay, I forgot who I was talking to. It was like somebody in my family, and they had mentioned her, and they were like, I wonder if she's like using Jelly Roll, because Jelly Roll's like a big guy, and she's like, you know, all beautiful, and like, you know, her body's all done and snatched and right, you know, so a lot of people are obviously going to be like, oh my God, I wonder if she's like using him or whatever. But I want to say, like, y'all, she has millions of followers. Her podcast is super successful. Like, I feel like she is making her own way. She does not need to be using him like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and read this little tiny article so that way you guys have a little bit of a backstory on Bunnie XO, just in case you guys didn't know who she is. I have to say, I knew who Jelly Roll was for a long time. Well, maybe like the past year now, I would say. But I didn't even know he was married. I didn't know his wife. Honestly, Jeffree Star going on the Bunnie XO podcast is the reason why I learned about her. So anyways, this is what it says right here. In 2016, Jelly Roll asked Bunnie XO to marry him while on stage during a live concert in Las Vegas. That same night, unbeknownst to the friends and family, the couple spontaneously tied the knot in a courthouse wedding. In addition to becoming Jelly Roll's wife, Bunnie XO also became a stepmom to the country music singer's daughter, Bailey, and son, Noah. While simultaneously helping Jelly Roll pursue his music career, Bunnie XO also went after her dream of starting her own podcast in 2019, the Dumb Bod... Oh my God, Dumb Bond. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? The Dumb Blonde podcast was born and has since amassed over 165,000 followers on Instagram following the launch of the oh my gosh, there I go again. Dumb Blonde Season 6 in 2023. Jelly Roll wrote a heartfelt tribute to Bunnie XO in honor of her major accomplishment and shared, quote unquote, how it was her means to end working in the sex industry for good, because she was working in the industry before and now she is just on her way to stardom, y'all. I really feel like she's gonna like super blow up. Well, I mean, obviously She has, a couple million followers, and on top of that too, Jelly Roll, his music career is like taking off. And I don't know, like after like watching more podcasts about them and then them together, I'm just like, oh my god, they're like a cool, like really down to earth couple. And if you guys watch her podcast, I like highly recommend it, y'all. I do want to say though, I find it just a little bit frustrating that like she takes forever to like put up the whole episodes on YouTube, because I know obviously she wants to get people on her Patreon. I totally understand that. But then I'm just kind of like, girl, you could be making a lot of money from YouTube too, because I like watching it. Like, I understand obviously a lot of people like listening to it when they're like driving or like in the shower, stuff like that. But if I have the opportunity, I would prefer to watch it. Anyways, y'all, that is pretty much it for Bunnie XO right there. I do want to say this. She did invite Trisha Paytas onto the podcast, and they had set everything up to where she was going to be on Trisha Paytas' podcast, and then Trisha Paytas was going to be her podcast, and they had this thing all set up. And obviously they have really tight schedules. They're very busy people, especially Bunnie XO, because, her husband is in the music industry. He's on tour, and he's like going to different shows, things like that. And then she has her own thing on the side too. So it's a very strategic schedule that they had to work out. Now, I do have to say this right here before we even get into everything. In my personal opinion, y'all, and I will play the clip for you guys. This is just my opinion. I feel like Bunnie XO went around it like really lightly. Like she was like, oh, Trisha Paytas just flaked on me, yesterday, and she like never even wrote me back or whatever. She did not bash her. She did not name call her. She wasn't even aggressive. She didn't even raise her voice. And I feel like Trisha Paytas really, I don't know. I feel like she really blew this out of proportion, because I'm just keeping it real with you guys. If I went way out of my way to travel and like do all this, you know what I mean? And to get ghosted, I would be livid. Like, I would be extremely livid. And it sucks because Trisha Paytas obviously said too, or she also said that she actually had somebody cancel on her too when she was already glammed up. And y'all know glam be costing like $500, hair and makeup and all that stuff. And when you're like already ready to rumble, and then turns out the person cancels on you, you know what it feels like. So it kind of sucks that she did it too. I totally understand that she had this opportunity to have Donny Osmond on her podcast. And I think that was an amazing opportunity for her. But she should have communicated that to Bunnie XO and said, hey, I would still love to do your podcast. Unfortunately, I literally just got the opportunity of a lifetime and I have to take this. I feel, obviously, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I probably have now listened to only maybe like 4 or 5 of the Bunnie XO podcast, and I did watch an interview about her too, but I feel like she would have been really understanding of the situation. I feel like she would have been like, damn, this sucks. I went out of my way. I cleared my schedule for this set amount of time. I'm doing all this traveling back and forth. I feel like she would have been understanding though, because honestly, y'all, let's keep it real. Like, if you like somebody and you want them on your podcast, you want to collaborate with them, then you're gonna have some type of love for them. And honestly, y'all, anybody that I have some type of love for, I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, if you get this opportunity, take it, Actually, before we get into the Trisha Paytas portion of this, I do want you guys to listen to the part where she was telling Jeffree Star that Trisha Paytas canceled on her. So check this out.
Trisha actually flaked on me yesterday. I came off tour to fucking do her podcast with her. Well, to do her podcast and her come on my podcast. And she texted me an hour before she was supposed to show up that she wasn't coming.
That's so unprofessional.
I know, but I'm just, it is what it is.
So as y'all can see from right there, in my personal opinion, like, I didn't really take it that deep. Like, she's just throwing it out there because obviously they were talking about Trisha Paytas. So obviously she's just going to mention like, damn, she flaked on me. I feel like Trisha Paytas, like, maybe it was her own like internal guilt, like, that she just went off on. I don't know. Like, when she did her TikTok, which I will play a small portion of it in just a minute, I feel like she was just going way too much, like saying like, oh my God, you shouldn't have been talking about this to Jeffree Star. And it's kind of like, okay, you feel like it's mean girl energy for her to talk to Jeffree Star about it. But also you have to understand is that Bunnie XO is out of the realm. She's out of the beauty space. She doesn't know your drama with Jeffree. She doesn't know the drama. She didn't even know the drama with James Charles. Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, obviously she's not going to know about all this stuff between Trisha Paytas and Jeffree Star. So I don't know. I feel like what she said was not wrong at all. And I feel like anybody who has a podcast is going to make a little comment about it. Like, damn, I'm bummed out. Like, she literally just lagged on me the day before, I didn't really take it too deep. Anyways, I do want to go ahead and play a small portion of Trisha Paytas' TikTok. Once again, it is 8 minutes and 45 seconds long. I saved the whole thing directly from TikTok. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, you guys can head over to her TikTok to check out the whole thing, because y'all, it's really, really long. And I don't know, I just kind of felt like it was kind of unnecessary. Do you know what I mean? Especially too, I do want to say, because she says that she like is really apologetic and she looks up to Bunnie and she really likes Bunnie and she was a fan of Bunnie first, she's saying. So I just kind of feel like, girl, you have her phone number. Like, why wouldn't you hit her up and just like tell her and apologize to her? So I didn't really get like why you gotta make a TikTok about it, but I guess it's good for views. Anyways, go ahead and check out a small portion.
It's the rudest thing. It is the rudest thing. And I just saw now, I went to go text her that there was a voice note and I did not see the voice note back. And no excuse. And Bunnie, I am so sorry. Like, I know how disrespectful that is on so many levels. And obviously it did affect her for her to bring it up on the podcast. And I'm so sorry. Like, trust me, I had that happen just weeks prior, and it is like, I just so disrespectful. It annoyed me so much. I was so polite with my guest, and I was just like, you know, it's fine. But I was just so annoyed deep down, and I get it. I get it. And I am so sorry. And if this thing that was happening in Vegas wasn't like really just like all my dreams coming true at once, like I would have made yours. I would have tried to make it work. I am so sorry. But bringing it up on a podcast with Jeffree Star, who just hates me and continues to just hate me.
So as y'all can see from right there, once again, I do apologize for only playing a small portion of the clip. I just feel like 8 minutes and 45 seconds is just way too long. This video will be way too long. You guys can check out the full thing if you guys are really curious. But as you guys can see from right there, she's kind of like blowing it up and being a little bit dramatic about it. In my personal opinion, I do feel like there is a side of her that did feel some type of guilt, and maybe that she was like scrambling, do you know what I mean, to like make it better. And I feel like in return, she kind of made things worse, in my personal opinion, because Bunnie XO did actually make a TikTok about this too. So I am going to play another small portion of that, because I want to say hers is about 3 minutes long. So I'm going to play a small portion of it, as to where basically she was defending herself and saying like, I wasn't really even saying anything bad. Like, she did talk good about Trish on the podcast. So that's why I was like, I guess maybe Trisha Paytas, like, I don't know, she was getting too ahead of herself. I feel like you gotta like chill a little bit, wait to see the podcast, see what she says about you, and like obviously listen to the whole podcast, because she really did say, she was like, I feel like Trisha Paytas has grown as a person after having a baby and whatnot. So I was like, I don't really feel she said anything wrong. If I'm being honest with you guys, shit, I would have been way more mad. I literally would have been going off. I'd have been like, she canceled on me, like all like, I'd have been like, girl, you need to send me some money for that too. Anyways, go ahead and check out Bunnie XO TikTok.
When I did this podcast, if you guys listened to the podcast, if you've listened to it already, you know that in the podcast I do nothing but talk good about Trisha. And I'm just matter-of-factly stating what happened between Trisha and I. I'm not talking shit. I'm just telling the truth. You guys that follow me know that I always keep it 100. If you listen to the podcast tonight when it drops, I do not say one bad word about Trisha. I actually say that I think she's evolved so much as a human since having a child, and is brilliant for being able to stay relevant for this long, and just being who she is. Her missing the podcast actually really did bother me. One, because it's unprofessional. Two, because I had to leave Vegas, go to Utah, and I'm doing this while I'm sick, by the way. Go to Utah, do my meet and greet, leave Utah, drive 6 hours back to Vegas, get there, get ready for her to come. I had to organize having a private jet there right after we got done filming, like we had planned from 2 to 5. We had planned that. I had to have a private jet ready to take me from Vegas to Montana so that I could make it to my meet and greet in Montana and to do the Jeffree podcast. Not to mention I had to drag my entire team along with me.
Also, at the time of me filming this video, Trisha Paytas did do another podcast, and she did give an apology to Bunnie XO. And she basically did say that she's sorry for it, but that they did talk in private. I was going to play another small clip of that podcast. But then I was like, you know what? Like, this is just going to be one too many clips. So basically, in a nutshell, she did say that they talked privately and squashed it and worked things out. I do have to say this though, I actually would like to see them on each other's podcast. I hope that they can work something out. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen, because Trisha Paytas did say in her new podcast that she had also canceled on her before, that she rescheduled before, but she rescheduled ahead of time. And this one, she just like ghosted her, you know? I never really understood this. Like, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. The only time that I forget to like respond to people is like, if you text me while I'm at the bar, at the club, and I'm drinking, I have a bad habit of looking at my phone and being like, oh shit, like the whole next day. It could even be like middle of next day, because I feel like in my head, like, oh, okay, I probably responded to it, or if I don't see the new notification. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like a lot of people out there, I don't understand how you just like ghost somebody. And she said that she was like, oh my God, I forgot to respond to her. Like, I guess Bunnie XO did send her a voice message, and she's like, I completely forgot to respond to her. I'm like, you had that obligation like way in advance. That's why you went out there to Vegas. So how did you forget to respond? Do you know what I mean? Anyways, nonetheless, they said that they squashed it. Hopefully they do work it out to where they can actually be on each other's podcast, because I do think that would be entertaining, and I do think that that would be good for the both of them, you know? So we will see where this goes. Anyways, once again, if you guys have not heard of Bunnie XO, go check out her podcast. I really really do like it. Like, I really, like, y'all, I was like, oh my God, I really like her. Like, she is just so, and I feel like she's been through so much too, that she's just such a relatable person, and she has a lot of empathy towards other people in situations. I feel like she's just a really rational person, and I really like that. So anyways, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.